Yeah, and I don't know. I guess that's a great place to start because never in the fandom I feel has there been such a division among Star Wars fans as there is right now. And you're someone who goes to cons, talks with dozens and dozens of fans. What's your take on where the Star Wars universe is at right now?
Hmm. Well, it's going through a transitional time. Um, right now, it appears that in 2007, the eighth episode of the Star Wars saga, The Last Jedi,
Mhm.
was intended to push the franchise in a different direction and maybe even invent it a little bit. And that met with a lot of fan pushback. A lot of fans liked it and a lot of fans didn't.
Right.
And so that naturally turned fan against fan in in social media for sure. And it seemed like a lot of people were fighting to be the loudest voice in the room. And I think that's a good thing, actually, because
Yeah.
if you're going to take a franchise that's been around for 40 years and suddenly try to push it in an all new different direction without George Lucas, then I think the fan base should speak up and say, yes, we like this, or no, we don't like this, because it's uncharted territory. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy to continue the Star Wars franchise without George Lucas. And in 2017, we saw how rough it actually could be. And so I think fans expressing their opinions and having conversations about the things they like and don't like is an important thing. So it appears the Disney company listened, and instead of pushing out a new Star Wars film every year, they're going to take a step back and recalibrate and think this thing through, which is something I think they should have done before they even put out their first Disney Lucasfilm movie, which was
Right.
The Force Awakens. I'm thankful for this period right now, this little reset. I think it was necessary, and I think it was necessary not only for the film studio but for the fan community in general. We need a cooling off period,
Yeah.
and thankfully we have things like The Mandalorian, which is wonderful and has been a big smash hit with fans. That will fill the void until new films happen in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that Disney didn't realize what a daunting task that they had before them. I don't think they realized the gravity of the fan base, how dedicated fans are to the franchise, and how passionate people get about it. I mean, primarily when you're dealing with, the original trilogy and, kind of these classical archetypes, like people resonate with that on a deeper level than them because it's almost like modern mythology at that point, right? But I don't think Disney realized that how nuanced and how well thought out they should have done this trilogy. They were just focused on cranking out material. And
Yeah.
some of them I thoroughly enjoyed. I love The Mandalorian. I loved Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was probably the best film that Disney had put out. But I don't know. I just don't feel like Disney had a real clear plan for what they wanted to do with the trilogy, though. I mean, I love how The Last Jedi they tried to subvert expectations. That's what I wanted in that movie. But the fact is, at least from my opinion, uh, they did not do it in a clever or a nuanced way. They kind of didn't realize what the bar was to push. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of it as well was them, just kind of doing away with the original plan because they had received that feedback on how safe The Force Awakens was. So they just subjected everyone's expectations without a plan on where to pick up afterwards.
Well, this could be true. Disney did exert a certain level of control over Lucasfilm during the period when The Force Awakens was being produced, but that turned out to be the biggest all time domestic box office smash hit. And so, with that success, Disney loosened up the apron strings a little bit and let
Right.
Lucasfilm run a little more independently with the franchise. And the result then was The Last Jedi. And I just think that the biggest place where The Last Jedi missed its mark is it seemed to demystify Star Wars to a certain
Yeah,
degree.
yeah, yeah.
And it took things that I think we consider to be very special and made them seem sort of mundane and dull. And I just didn't think that that was the right direction to push the franchise. And I really don't know where you can take it from there. They have a solid foundation with the George Lucas world building of Star Wars, and I don't think the wheel needs to be reinvented so much as expanded upon. Let's find different uses for it, as opposed to trying to make it something different altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was a little bit of, I don't want to say disrespect for the fandom when it comes to what they chose to subvert and what they chose to change. But I mean, when you have, people who have been working on this franchise for 30 years, telling you or giving you feedback, right? That a direction that you're taking a character is at its core, at its core goes against the value tenets of that character. You got to listen, and you have to take that into account, because I mean, you're talking about folks who have been, in the Star Wars fandom, going to conventions, interacting with fans on a daily basis for 30 years. Like, nobody is more in touch with the fan base than the folks who have been in it that long.
Right. But it just appeared that a new approach was being taken, and
Yeah.
so the voices were shut out. Be it the regular Joe Schmo fan like you and me, all the way up to Mark Hamill himself, who put up some debate with Ryan Johnson when it came to the way his character was going to be portrayed in The Last Jedi, and he was basically told to put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Um, or shut up and put up. I don't know what he was told, but they told him to deal with it. And
Yeah,
Mark
just
was
drink
right.
that kitty milk and do it.
But Mark was right. Mark, I mean, it just seems to me kind of selfish to take a franchise and make it the vision of the latest popular quirky auteur. That doesn't fit into the big picture as far as I'm concerned. And I just think that a lot of the wrong voices were at the table over this 5-year period here while Star Wars films have been being produced. Now, that being said, I don't think that it's been a disaster at all. I mean, there's a lot of merits in the sequel trilogy that I think, I'm one of the rare guys who really liked The Rise of Skywalker. I really liked it. I just thought it was fun. And, but
Had a
people are
lot of
looking for
yeah.
something more, they're looking for something more. And the plot holes, I'm not blind to things like plot holes or quick fixes that might have happened in that film. But then it's just the end result of, as you were saying earlier, not really well thought out and fleshed out plans. So I
Right.
think they're paying the price for that. I really do. The toys aren't selling. Um, Interest level in Star Wars has been down, since the glory days of The Force Awakens, and I find that to be very unfortunate. And I think that's the result of too much, too fast. Really, as Star Wars fans, we're used to waiting. You know, we're used to having those periods of downtime between the movies where the story and mythology really gestate within the fan base, and we make it something bigger than it is.
Yeah.
That's why I think the fan base is so important to the popularity of Star Wars. That it really is this I think it really should be a back and forth process between the filmmakers and the fans, because we're dealing with something that's been around for 40 plus years, and a lot of fans have taken ownership of Star Wars, and you can debate until you're blue in the face whether that's right or wrong. The bottom line is it's the fact.
Right.
And I think that Disney Lucasfilm needs to adapt to that.